Hey, this is BrindeWolf.
And I'm Lunaria.
You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action.
We're here to spark your growth, lift your spirit, and help you crush your potential.
Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken. Rise Awakening, now is the time.
Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
What else is new? All right, so today I pulled from the Crystal Ally cards again. I pulled from them last week and they were like, let's talk again. So we're going to start off with hematite tonight. Manifest light. You are a being of the earth, not just on it. You're a beacon of light that so many others who choose not to connect with become jealous of. They will go to great lengths to diminish what you have to bring. Hematite, when polished, absorbs light, but doesn't reflect it very well. Weird how this happens. But one thing to know about this amazing stone is that it accepts whatever you decide to place into it. It doesn't take it personally if you're angry. There's a duality to this, though. If you are working through too much stress and resentment and attempt to wear one of the hematite rings, it will absorb so much of that you will find that it breaks quickly. If you're grounded and in touch with the vibrations of balance, it will work with you to help you maintain this balance if you sway too far towards stress. Like the earth itself absorbing the rays of the sun to bring life, so too can hematite be a small reminder of manifesting light and life. Then after that, we have dioptase, forgiveness. This stone has appeared to remind you that if you hold on to anger, resentment, betrayal, etc., about something that has happened to you, you are the one holding on to it and keeping the attachment alive. Not being able to forgive is literally going to continue to bring situations to you that are in line with what you're feeling. If you're tired of having that musical playlist run through your head and life, then take a different look. Maybe it's time to release what happened. Not excusing, but not allowing it to continue to haunt you. Want a future of joy? It's going to be pretty difficult if there are strands of the past that are weighing you down. Tourmaline, inner peace. This is a vibratory state in which you are able to perceive and release emotional patterns that may be influencing the reality you're experiencing. Or so I've heard. Tired of the old patterns robbing you of your peace? Then find the quiet. Calm the vibration. Joy is created in a moment, not something to reach for. Happiness is chosen. Where you're going is decided by you. Many of us live in disquiet because we are trying to appease the expectations of others and finding our paths through what they want. You've heard that comparison is the thief of joy? Well, let's add to that. Expectation is the thief of happiness. When you live by the perceived expectations of others, you will be going against any potential of destiny that you wish to create. Then we have pyrite. Male power. This may be the first time in the history of this show that you'll hear me stick up for the masculine aspect. Why? Because so many times we are so out of balance as a result of these male energies that we need to find respite in the feminine. But there's a downside to the scales tipping too far to the left. While the feminine can help us tap calmly into the intellectual and softer side, we need the masculine to help push us and be the driving force to get things done. In some teachings about masculine, it supplies the driving force for us to have the experiences that we have. In all ways. At the start of our journeys in life, we have balance, and there is no real duality between male or female. But somewhere along the way, this gets polarized, and we lean towards one over the other. If you've leaned too far to the side of resistance and nurturing to the inner child, then perhaps it is time to bring back to balance so things can move forward. This is said with caution, though, because sometimes we can lean too far and become the opposite of what we desire. It's all about balance. And finally, we had amethyst, divine connection. A leftover from last week's message about intuition. Regardless of whether you believe that crystals, mantras, meditation, or leader-based cathedrals are the way to get closer to the divine, it all starts with an intention to listen. You cannot receive what you are closed off to. If you believe that an anointing from another is the way to connect, then embody that. Allow it in. Open up to the divine guidance that is trying to make its way to you. If things keep going astray and you continue to find yourself in situations that look like what you've always experienced, then it's time to shift gears and take the hints that have been dropped like lead bricks from a 10-story building. The divine, your divine, wants to reconnect with that inner knowing that you have always had. It's simply up to you to decide to let it flow. Act on the guidance and intuition that you receive. It will lead you where you truly want to go, even if the road there is a bit ragged.
I was just thinking that toward all that whole last part, it doesn't matter if you go to church and you believe in God. It doesn't matter if you don't. It doesn't matter if you believe in tarot or psychics or healers or any of that stuff. None of that matters when it comes to making yourself happy. I mean, the stuff that we're trying to tell you doesn't have to come from anywhere except inside you. And what could possibly be the bad thing about trying to get in touch with what makes you happy? No matter where it comes from, you have the power to create your own happiness. It doesn't have to come from anywhere except inside you, no matter what you believe in.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I pulled from the Egyptian Book of the Dead this week. I don't normally sway too much from my favorite deck, but I did today. And I'll tell you the reason I did was because I did my normal deck first. And the reading was the same as it's been a lot. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to make pull from the Moonology Oracle. So I found the Moonology Oracle, and it was the same reading. And then I said, you know what? One more try. Three's a charm, right? So I pulled from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and guess what? Same reading. So apparently, we need to listen. At the heart of the matter, we have Mut. Mut is the Divine Mother. She is protection and sacred worth. At the core of this connection, your connection with someone else, is unconditional love and devotion. Mut represents the mother of gods, love that protects, nurtures, and endures. This relationship activated your caretaker archetype. You loved deeply, perhaps selflessly, offered emotional safety, patience, and loyalty. But due to internal wounding, you were over-mothering, giving without receiving, staying because you believe love means enduring. You were not foolish for loving fully, but love was never meant to cost you your sovereignty. Up next in the challenge, we have Seth. Seth represents chaos, betrayal, and passion that's ultimately destructive. Seth is the disruptor. The challenge here is chaos, instability, and emotional volatility, often tied to ego wounds, betrayal, or power struggles. This person may oscillate between desire and destruction, craving intensity but resisting responsibility. Trauma bonding can occur due to the addictive push-pull dynamics and confusing passion with fate. Seth does not destroy what is aligned. He destroys what is false so that truth can rise. All right. In the conscious mind, we have Wadjet. Wadjet is a sacred and vigilance. He is the cobra on the brow of the pharaoh. He's heightened intuition and psychic awareness. Consciously, you are alert, watchful, sensing danger and truth simultaneously. Be cautious of hypervigilance. Staying on guard constantly instead of feeling safe is no good. If your intuition stays actively around someone, activated around someone, your nervous system is speaking louder than your heart. All right. In the subconscious or root, we have pyramid. Pyramid is foundation, legacy, or a soul contract. At the root is a belief that this connection is meant to last, possibly karmic or possibly past life bound. You may feel like we were built to endure. Don't stay for the sunk cost fallacy. Staying because of history, vows, or spiritual labels. Not all soul contracts are meant to be permanent. Some are meant to be completed. In the past, we have the dark. Dark is the unknown, the shadow, and the emotional night. This relationship passed through a dark night of the soul. Confusion, abandonment, silence, or emotional withdrawal. Avoid waiting in the dark for answers. Stop internalizing someone else's absence as your fault. The darkness was initiatory. It stripped away the illusion and forced truth into the open. All right. In the near future, we have utterance. Utterance is sacred speech, a truth finally spoken or a revelation. Utterance brings words that cannot be taken back. A truth is about to be spoken or finally heard. This may be a confession, a boundary, a final clarification, or you finding your voice after the silence. Don't fear confrontation, hoping that clarity comes without discomfort. You may need to hear the hard truths to finally give yourself closure. Truth frees, even when it ends a chapter. All right, you right now are the Eye of Horus. Eye of Horus is healing, awareness, and restoration. You are in a phase of emotional recovery and awakening. The Eye of Horus shows you are seeing clearly now, after pain. Be cautious of reopening wounds to check to see if they still hurt. Believe me, they still do. You are not broken, you are restored. In your external influences, we have none. None is primordial waters, a reset, an infinite potential. The universe is offering a reset. None represents the waters before creation. Nothing is fixed anymore. Resist your fear of the unknown. You don't need to miss the old structure, especially if it hurt. This is the space where new love or a new version of you can be born. Either way, it's a win for you. All right. In your hopes and fears, we have riches. Riches represents abundance, worth, and receiving. You hope for emotional reciprocity, security, and feeling chosen, but fear you may not be worthy of receiving without giving first. Avoid that scarcity mindset in love. Stop overgiving to feel safe. You are allowed to desire ease, generosity, and devotion. The outcome is Hather. Hather is love, pleasure, and divine feminine joy. Hather is a beautiful outcome. She brings sensuality, self-love, celebration, and heart-centered joy. This doesn't promise that the old relationship returns. It promises something better. Love without chaos, joy without vigilance, pleasure without punishment. When you choose yourself, love becomes sweet again. This connection was initiatory, not punitive. It awakened intuition, healed old wounds, and taught you the difference between endurance and devotion. Honor the love that shaped you and release the pain that no longer serves. That is all. Did he leave? There he is.
Juggling too many chats. Huh. I had just one question. Are you listening? You, general you, not you, direct you.
I know. That's why I didn't answer.
Because I feel like I have to yell over it. I don't know how loud it is for you guys, but anyway. sometimes I just go off the cuff, but tonight I wanted a specific message to go out, so I decided to prepare it ahead of time. In the reading tonight that I brought to you from the Crystal Ally, we heard Tourmaline speak about while comparison may be the thief of joy, that expectation may be the thief of happiness. It is one of the fuel sources for those lights of gas that we can choose to continue to burn or let go out. We can lose the expectations we have towards others and also release ourselves from trying to live up to the expectations that others have. We'll never fully live up to them anyway, because they will change and be more demanding the more we try to live up to them. When we don't live up to someone's shoulds or expectations of how we behave, we're bound to let them down. Or we allow ourselves to be programmed to follow along through indoctrination. All forms of this is incorrect. Or are they? Are they out of place? Not necessarily. Especially when the limitations are put on because of those who break rules in such a way that they are imposed. There's so many different ways that this thought stream could go and provoke unwanted responses. But when you do things out of expectation of a certain response, you're going to be let down. I almost guarantee this. If you're going to gaslight someone because they did not meet the expectations you quietly or loudly imposed on them, you're going to be disappointed on a deeper level. And finding your own happiness again will always feel like something that's out of reach. Reduce expectations about how you believe someone should behave, and you might find that the desired behavior is actually displayed. Not always true, but I bet if you looked back at times where you had no expectation, you'll find that these were the times that you were least disappointed in the outcome. Even if the outcome wasn't exactly what you wanted. It took away the charge of that kind of moment that could have gone very differently. Maybe this is tempered with my own disappointing past, where I tried to live up to others' expectations and caved so I would be liked or even tolerated. Or maybe, and just maybe, this isn't an isolated feeling. And maybe, even I've been on both sides of the spectrum, where I was trying to live up to expectations while having my own, and wires crossed and clashed. This may be closer to the actual. Either way, it takes quite a while to deprogram from that for anyone, regardless of which side of the truth it lies for them. Choose happiness. Don't expect it from others. And you may just find that it's enough.
It can be.
Mm-hmm. Can be.
It definitely can be.
We get so hung up on expectation, our own, over how other people should act, and then we try and impose our own expectations on other people. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we haven't told the person what our expectations are.
Yeah. We assume that their expectations are the same as ours because we don't know them.
No.
So we just assume that we all have the same expectations as everyone else, but we don't. And then the same thing happens where they're imposing their things on you, and you're trying to change for them. And it can't be that way. We have to learn to accept each other as we are.
Yep.
Unless, of course, how we are is damaging to somebody.
Exactly.
Which we'll get into later.
I had a feeling that what I had prepared after you, because you kind of hinted about what you were talking about. I had a feeling.
This time he knows a little bit about my talk.
But yeah, when you were telling me about that, I was like, yeah, this is a good lead.
Okay, I Don't even know where to start. Okay, so there's a particular person that's in the room right now. As far as I know, she's still here, and I'm kind of speaking directly to her, but I'm also speaking to a lot of people. So here's what's happened. The other night I got some notifications that there were some comments on last week's the weekly message. Yep, she's in the room. The last week's weekly message, and then my show Illuminate with Lunaria. And so I opened up the comments, and lo and behold, it was from the narcissistic ex. Haven't gotten a nasty message from him in almost 2 years. Thought I was finally rid of all of that mess. And here we are again. And not only is he a narcissist, but he's also an alcoholic. And you could tell by the comments that he was drinking that day. They went from the first one being the bullshit love bombing, let me know if I can help you with anything bullshit. And then it went to blaming me for stuff, and this is your fault, and I feel sorry for the other person involved, and just nastiness. You could tell he didn't even watch what was said by his responses or pay attention to what was said. It was just nastiness. And you could see the progression of the drinking. One comment, and then another one gets nastier, and then another one gets nastier, and another one gets nastier than that. Of course, they all disappeared the next day because he sobered up and realized what he'd done. And then he was given a cease and desist. But I have screenshots. Why do they come back? You sit there and you think the nasty things that they said about you when you left, the horrible things that they called you, the names, the things that they said about you, the lies that they told about you. And you think, you hated me so much. Why are you back? Why would you want to come back? I promise you it's not because now they've changed and they love you and they mean it when they come. They will never apologize. There was nothing whatsoever. There never has been any accountability, any apologies, except for when he was trying to get me to come back before. Threats, I'll hurt myself if you don't come back. They don't want you back. They want to control you. You left them. And that is when they wanted you. First they hated you, then they want you. Because they're not controlling you anymore. They lost the control. The best way, I shouldn't, the thing is that I wrote a blog about this today that you guys should take a look at, especially one person in particular, about why they come back, the reasons why, and what you should do and what you should not do. One thing that you should not do is respond in any way, shape, or form. Take screenshots. The only reason I leave comments open on my YouTube is because people that need our help need to get in touch with us. So I'm not going to block comments from my page. And, I could block his IP address and, but you know what? Let him show the world who he is. I don't care. He's not hurting me. I literally laughed. And the funny thing is that the last time this happened, which was over almost 2 years ago, the last time that he put nasty comments on my stuff, I immediately got upset. I got angry. I started shaking. I started responding. I started explaining myself. I started telling him why they were wrong about what they were saying, all that. And all it did was feed. He's getting attention. And I fed it. If it weren't for the fact that I do what I do and I talk to who I talk to, and that I needed to let you guys know about this because it's what you can expect from them, is not to be gone even after 2 years, to come back and show up to cause problems again. The big thing, don't respond, don't say anything, don't show them any attention whatsoever, block them, keep them completely out of your life at all costs. Don't even talk about them. Don't laugh. I did. I just laughed. Don't laugh publicly like I kind of am right now. Like I said, the only reason I'm even sharing this is because you guys need to hear this. So that when it happens to you, you know, well, I guess they're not actually gone. They need their ego fed again. More than likely, he was dating someone and they probably realized what and who he was also and dumped him. And then they come crawling back, begging back to people that they think are easy. It's not the first time it happened, and it probably won't be the last. Block. Get rid of them. Ignore them. Because they're never going to change. They can't even admit they've done anything wrong. I'm sure he's watching or will see this because he's back to stalking my stuff again. But when he does, do you think that he's going to see anything in this other than, I hate her, she's lying, how dare she talk about me like that? But there's one thing I want you to remember. And I think Diane is the first person that told me this. I don't remember. This was a little while ago, though. Narcissists don't chase after losers because that would make them look bad, and they're perfect. Narcissists chased after the best of the best. I'll get another comment about how my ego is so big. But the reason they do that, the reason they continue to chase after you, is because you're better than them. They want to get you back into where they can control you again and make you look less than them. Because God forbid you be better than them in every way. And you are. So just remember that they do come back time and time and time again. But ignore, block, delete, don't respond. They are not worth your energy. And you will never get anything back from them other than hardship. And that is all I have. It is hard not to fall back into it when they come back. The problem is that that's their whole game. Is let me fix you. Let me try and help you. Oh, you look like you're suffering. You look sad. Can I help you in any way? I'm sorry. Then you'll get an I'm sorry, but it's not real. It's just to lure you back in. Love bomb again. Then the gaslighting again. Right now he's hoovering again. We've talked about all these terms. And he'll just knock you right back down again. They don't keep their promises because they don't feel like they have to do anything different. They're perfect the way they are. This is why it's such a difficult problem for anyone to go through counseling or anything else. How is a counselor or anyone going to tell them what they should do to improve things if they don't do anything at all? It'll never happen. Yeah, on repeat and repeat. Don't let it happen. Block. Completely remove him from your life. I know sometimes, I don't know if you have any children with him or what the situation is, because I know that makes it difficult when you have no choice. But you do have the option to, when you exchange the children, to get someone, an officer, to meet you
you can have supervised exchanges. And you can get the court to arrange that so that you don't, and that they're not allowed to speak to you. You're not allowed to speak to them. That's, you exchange the kid. The only interaction that you should ever have is with and about the children. Good, I'm glad that you've got a good lawyer if that's what they're saying. There's no reason for you to speak to them unless it's regarding the children, and it can go through someone else if that's it. The court will help.
And it was difficult for me during that time period for you
Oh yeah.
because I had to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to be cruel, but she would come to me and say, well, he reached out and look at my responses. And I'd be like, what are you doing?
It just
And
feeds it.
I would literally just have to end the conversation that we would have about that because I knew that she would have to learn.
You just get so angry and you want them to hear you. You want them to hear your side of things. You want them to finally listen, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you respond out of habit. Don't.
And I'll
All
ask
it
you the
does is
same
feed it.
question I asked her. How many times? How is that working for you? Do you really feel better?
Yeah.
Does it really make it better by answering? Yeah. And then within a half hour of texts later on between the two of them, and I'm sure that you're experiencing the same thing, it was right back to where it was, gaslighting.
I have text chains that went for 12 hours straight through the night while I was trying to sleep. Off and off, one after another, where he got more and more drunk and more belligerent and more cruel. 12 hours straight. If you respond, it won't end. The only way to end it is to stop responding completely.
Yep. Not even to say goodbye. Not even to say stop. Leave me
Not
alone.
even to say fuck off. Nothing.
Just end the conversation. It's called gray rocking.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got that one too.
Yep. Same.
Say no fucking way, dude.
I got the same.
Not gonna happen.
And here's the irony. Now,
You
granted, I
take
didn't
your
have
friends with benefits and shove it where the sun don't shine.
now, granted, I didn't have as belligerent or violent dealings with the last episode of Brendel's narcissistic boyfriends, but there's been a reappearance too.
Yeah. It's the comeback time of the year.
But on the plus side to that is I have the law behind me, so I don't have to respond.
Yeah. Yeah, the rage is why you need to stay the fuck away from them. They cannot believe that you could possibly say no to them.
Yep. Document everything.
Document.
Screenshots, save it to a file, email it to yourself so it can be printed however you need to, because you might need it.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope that the gray rocking pushes far enough away that you are, but statistically, and this isn't even intuitive, this is just statistically, it takes
Chances are
12 to 18 months for them to get the point.
and sometimes even longer.
So not to scare you or put any fear, just knowledge.
No, just and caution.
Armor up.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes,
repeating.
that's a good thing. Yeah.
Dude, every single one of your cards is reversed for me. Every last one of them. And it's just like, what do you, stop it. King of Cups, reversed. All right. Now, I will have to put a disclaimer that all of this is in progress. And that's what I see. And, you know, as they were pouring out, I was like, it's just a gesture. Which if you watch me on TikTok at all, whenever somebody asks for a reading and I'm pulling out the cards and they're just kind of all over the desk, I'm like, it's just a gesture. But anyway, King of Cups, you're pouring out things that you've been holding on to. Now, in the process, they're starting to get a little bit stuck and you're sitting with them a little bit too much. Now, the King of Cups normally, you know, doesn't let things get to him and he's just kind of free flowing. And unlike the rest of the cup suit, shit just kind of flows off his shoulder. But we're working on that with you. And you, while you're making progress, it's still something that needs to be worked on. I mean, you got Nine of Swords right after that, where let it the fuck go. How long are you going to hold on to these limiting beliefs that you have in your mind of remnants of things that have happened to you in the past? Let these things slide off the shoulders. Let them be done, because right after that you've got the Bliss card, the Nine of Coins in reversed. Wait, no, Nine of Cups, my bad. I just know it's the Bliss card by the picture. I'm a picture reader. You know, I forget what's up here. But whenever I see this, it's like, and if I see it in reverse, it's like, stop preventing your bliss. Please stop preventing your bliss. Let it be. Let it go. Let it in. You're second guessing yourself, almost gaslighting in a way. The voices in your head, you may not have been gaslit growing up or in a relationship, but you sure the fuck know how to do it to yourself. Stop. It's preventing your bliss. And it's preventing that Two of Coins of, which decision do I make? I don't know which one to make, because they're both good, they're both bad, and I don't really know which one is the better one. And oh dear God, and then you wind up not making a decision at all. It doesn't always happen, but when it's important. And then the Eight of Cups. You have a lot of cups in your reading, my friend. You need to get things flowing again, because the Eight of Cups is a stagnation card, and things are just kind of at a standstill right now. I do want to ask if you got the job that you applied for that you told us about. I hope so. But all of these emotions, all these things that are trying to come up, trying to release, trying to look at things a little bit differently, because you are paying attention. I know that you are zoned in to everything that's said, whether it's said in a reading, said in the messages, said to somebody else. You are zoned in on everything that's said here. So you are literally trying to allow things to move, allow yourself to move forward. You're making progress, and this is so, we can see it in your singing, we can see it in how you present yourself. Just keep allowing it. And when something gets stuck, well, maybe take a different look at it as to why, and don't doubt yourself so much. Okay, that's good. That's good. You are your own brand. Remember that. You are, what you have to offer is a product. What you can do is a product. And when you sell that product well enough that you are your own brand of making that product, then employers are going to look at it a little bit differently. There's your confirmation. Okay.
All right, so I got the Chariot first up. There's a situation going on because there's something that you need to take control of. Someone with the King of Wands energy in reverse. That's someone who's very opinionated, very selfish, very self-centered. Someone is being deceptive with you about some kind of temptation or choice that you have to make. I see something about a job coming up or whatever. So make sure that you're listening and honing in on everything that you're hearing here. Make sure that you're listening and honing in when you're, going in for job interviews and stuff like that, because there's someone, it doesn't have to be a man just because it's a king. It's just the energy, a very selfish and deceptive energy that's going to be deceptive and selfish about whatever this whatever this choice is. So you need to be in control. I'm waiting to see if there's. Oh boy, gotcha. Okay. Take control. Be on guard. Listen, just like you do here, to everything, and pay attention to your intuition. Especially if you run into somebody who's acting selfishly and you know that this is
I'm also hearing too nice as part of the deception, where you talk to somebody that is too nice.
You're like, they're so nice, there's got to be something going on here.
And if you feel any kind of way in this type of conversation coming up, run.
Yeah.
I mean, don't literally run, but okay. Thank you so much for hearing me out in this conversation. Whatever.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
I'll see you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a personally difficult song.
Me too.
And whenever I hear it, whenever I sing it, doesn't matter who's singing it. It reminds me of how much time and how many people I blame for how I feel about myself. And how hard it is to let that internal gaslighting go and to move away from it. And I could feel that coming through from Amelia, which is why I brought that up. Those left behind feelings of hurt. I can feel you fighting back major.
Yeah, just kind of like, I pulled some cards for the group because we didn't have anyone else ask.
Oh, you too?
During that song, and it just kind of, yeah.
Hurt, anger, sad, frustration. Yeah.
Frustration. Let it go. Loss and despair. Let it go. So that you can have a new beginning. Start over.
Yep. I noticed that nobody asked too. So for whomever needs to hear this, whether you're listening live or in the repeat, don't run. Six of Swords. Whether you're running from the present, whether you're running from an ex, or you're trying to run from yourself, time to claim yourself. Remember who you are. Stand up. And stand up doesn't always mean being on the defensive. Stand up doesn't mean going out and immediately cussing out or physically harming somebody else. Standing up means standing in your authenticity, standing in who you are, who you can be, who you're meant to be. Wow, that echoed. Because that part of you needs to go away. If you run, it will follow wherever you go. It will not release just
Kind of
because
like
you
the
will.
narcissist.
This is transformation. This is end of what's no longer needed and allowing what can be. I mean, you could drive from the East Coast to the West Coast. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get away from what you're trying to get away from. Because everywhere you go, there you are. Dr. Seuss had it right. Remember that.